Alright, YouTube, don't worry, I was aware before people started commenting that Comey had let Hillary off the hook again. Now, the most common question appears to be, do you think this is going to change the race? No, I don't, honestly. It's kind of late in the game for it to have really an impact. Any undecided voters that cared that the FBI came out again and said, oh, there are more emails, there's more stuff here, already jumped ship to the Trump campaign. They're probably at this point in the race going to stick with him. The small and dwindling sum of undecided voters obviously didn't care anyway because they remained undecided voters. Ultimately, I think in many parts of the country, especially when we look at the Rust Belt, it's about jobs. It's about the economy and trade and things of that nature. Clinton has limped behind Trump on these issues. That's why he's competitive there. Her ties to NAFTA in the first place were one of the main reasons why she was less competitive in these states, because their economies have been harmed by it. The TPP would be probably the other big one. And these are resonating with voters. It also additionally might actually be a little bit of a last-minute gift to Trump, because it makes it look like the FBI couldn't have possibly done a thorough investigation when you have 650,000 emails, and they claim that their estimation of whether they should charge Clinton or not has become clear after only a week. It's probably going to look, I think, in most people's minds, more like the investigation was squashed, because you've had the pro-Clinton media, the legacy media, almost fucked the Clinton campaign's bottom line on this by talking about how there was so much infighting in the FBI and it was Trump land and all of these things. So when the FBI comes out again and says, no, we're still not going to charge, I think it looks more like collusion than that some evil, horrible Trump racists were defeated or something like that. The same people, the Podestas, already rambled about how evil the FBI was, how they were essentially in bed with Russia. So they've kind of screwed the pooch on being able to capitalize upon the FBI's now decision and say, oh, well, yeah, we trusted the FBI all along, because people will look and say, no, you tweeted out a week ago that the FBI was filled with Russian communists or something like that. So no, it doesn't change my estimation of the race. I'm still giving Trump an enormous advantage, partially because of the Rust Belt, partially because if it took a massive scandal and a week and some smaller scandals to decline Hillary's totals to what they're now at, it would take an even larger amount to bring Trump back down from the zenith he's now currently at. He's peaking right now. Clinton's in the middle of a trough. Is 48 hours, not even 48 hours, technically long enough for her to make up that deficit in a single news cycle? I don't think so. I don't think that it helps her at all. In fact, it makes it look like perhaps there was government collusion at high levels to squash out an investigation, playing right into Trump's hands, because he's been saying the whole time that the whole thing's rigged. And some people are receptive to that message. I believe there probably is a hidden Trump vote. How large it is, we can only speculate. It could be 10 people, it could be 10 million people. We have no way of knowing. Right now, I'm going to continue to give him the advantage. I have no reason to change my estimation of the race, because it was fairly clear Comey was likely not to indict Hillary Clinton anyway. No matter how damaging the material is, the DOJ is involved with it. For instance, Trump, I imagine we've already heard Gingrich, link in the description, weigh in on this, say, oh, Comey must be under intense pressure. Well, one of the DOJ figures that was on this investigation is like a close lifelong friend of John Podesta, who's the chair for Hillary Clinton's campaign. And that hurt her a lot, and thus, because of the, in people's minds at least, evidence of government collusion, I don't think that them ending the investigation helps. I don't think it's going to help. They didn't even go through these emails by hand. They used computer systems to determine roughly what was there. They also did determine, and this is record, they said it themselves, that some of this material was from her time at the State Department, was not redundant with what was already searched. At the very least, it is proof positive that she withheld information from the FBI. Now, unless you want to claim to me that those tens or hundreds of thousands of emails were all about yoga and Chelsea's wedding, well, no, I just don't, I don't think that it's good for her campaign. And then find, oh, Chelsea was using Clinton Foundation funds for her wedding as well. That came out earlier today through Wikileaks. Wikileaks is probably a bigger player at this point than the FBI. And I imagine there's every possibility that the news cycle tomorrow is going to get gobbled up by some last-minute leak from Wikileaks, some last infographic, some last really truly damaging email. O'Keefe could release anything tomorrow. Anybody else could release anything tomorrow. What you did see, though, is that the anonymous people, so-called, claiming that they had all sorts of evidence that Bubba Bill was, like, raping kids, did it come out yesterday? No, it didn't. Just like I told you, that's a distraction from the actual scandals. And you're going to continue to see that. You're probably not going to see any such dump tomorrow. What you might get to see is something severely damaging from WikiLeaks. That would take the wind right out of her sails. It would have to be at this late stage in the game. You know, if you've got 4 or 5 days to go, anything counts if it's, you know, kind of damaging. We saw that with the FBI's investigation, with WikiLeaks and Kadzik, or whatever his name is, with Podesta there in the DOJ, colluding openly with the State Department and with Hillary Clinton's campaign. We've seen these things happen. But at this point, with less than 48 hours to go until people cast their ballots, anything short of a major problem, a major scandal, doesn't really change the metrics of the race. So it doesn't change anything, in my estimation. At the very most, what it does is stagnate the race so that Trump no longer has the same backwind he had, but he probably doesn't need it. He's already taken the lead in some of these states. He's roughly tied. Clinton is still marching around as we speak in Michigan, of all places, trying to prevent the state from going red. It's looking pretty bad for her. When Nate Silver tries to cover his ass by coming out saying, oh, Trump's one flipped state away from victory, yeah, they must be pretty scared right now, especially if there is a systemic polling bias, especially if there is a hidden Trump vote. I don't think it's going to save the Clinton campaign. Again, could be wrong. Could be totally wrong. Could be Clinton wins with 400 electoral points for all I know, but I think that the possibility of such a thing happening is so fantastically remote that I'm not even bothering to estimate it. I think Trump has won the election. That's my estimation. That's my prediction. And I'm sticking to it. And that's about all. Peace out.